Spending Friday night alone, I'm reading Campus Frat Boy porn strewn on the table for my roommate when he finally gets home. And just one night ago, 3 flights ago, I'm back in Michigan, another trip I won't remember, appreciate much when I'm dead. Hotel where I slept that night was surely haunted then, 'cause every hour I woke up feeling so watched and wanted, and think I remember that from when we met, which feels so insignificant or maybe odd now to admit it's all in retrospect. So I spent the winter bundled up, pretending I was sane and giving up the things I love the most because they felt like pain. And it's so obvious, this jaded bunch, we don't believe in ghosts and such. We watch The Hunt incredulous but cannot look away. And you looked at me like I was a piece of me, so I was a piece of me for a time. But you were a vegetarian, so I became a vegetarian. And when you started eating meat, I also started eating meat. And I lied to all my friends, said I was happy when I wasn't. And you lied to all yourself, said I could give you what you wanted. But it all feels so much bigger than some blink of lonely breakup, like our marriage and mortality only distills to, oh my god, we're gonna die. We're gonna die and maybe it's gonna be alone. We're gonna die and maybe it's gonna be alone, and no one will find the things we left behind.